Hello, my name's Alistair Baird from the Darkroom in Cheltenham, and today I'm going to talk about film scanning, turning your analog film into a digital format with lots of pluses and noughts because that's digital. Now, we scan to 3 different sizes as standards. We do a smallish 4.5 megabyte size scan. Okay, there's an 18 megabyte scan, and there's an 87 megabyte scan. Now that's all from 35mm sizes. The 120s are kind of different shapes and sizes, and that varies, but there is a reference on the website which you can check to see what sizes those 120s can be. Now, in everyday terms, a 4.5 megabyte scan is fine for emailing. It's not so big it's going to clog up your computer, and it'll print out to about a 6x4, sort of about that size. Okay, now the next size, which is the 18 megabytes, that's quite a popular size. It'll print up to 8x12, that's actually an 8x10, but A4, that kind of a size, so that's really handy. The 87 megabyte will go up to kind of door sized, you know, 24 by 36 inches, something like that. So those are really big, quite a serious size. Now, one of the other questions we get asked is, here's the scanner. We've got different scanning heads. These kind of just lift out. So that's one for 35mm. These are quite kind of delicate things. So that pops in there and that's locked in. There's another one for 120, which you can see. And we've got one for 35mm. So if you've got old 35mm slides, we can also scan them through here, and I'll pop a bit of video on that, how that happens. They're all done one at a time, and all the scans, once they're on the screen, they're assessed for colour, for contrast, and we make those adjustments to sort of optimise the image that you've got. Now, another subject that we do get asked about is what resolution that we scan to. Well, frankly, I don't know. Somewhere in the gubbins here, it's going to decide what's the appropriate resolution to scan to. That is, how fine a detail it's going to look at that piece of film in order to produce a file that size. And what really matters is what's coming out at the end of it. Now, I've got a little demonstration about DPI, because the other thing that people ask about is, you know, resolution is dots per inch, DPI, and so let's go and do that little demonstration. Right, so here's the demonstration. Now, I've been talking about coffee beans and pixels for ages, and people kind of give me a bit of a blank look, so hopefully this will make more sense. Now, in here I've got some coffee beans, and we're going to consider one coffee bean as being, I don't know, 100 pixels, okay? So I'm going to tip, this is starting with about 250 grams, so we'll call that 250 megabytes, okay? I'm going to put about half of them in here. That's about half. Okay, now I've arranged them into a size that's about 6x4 jar, and if I count up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 6 lots of coffee beans which are 100 pixels, so that's like 600 DPI 6x4. Okay, so that's good, isn't it? 600 DPI. Now, if I put that into a 10x8 tray, okay, we keep 10x8 trays here. Now, the problem is, I don't know if you can see that, can you see? It doesn't even cover the whole of that, so it's less than one coffee bean, which is 100 pixels. So let's call it 72 DPI, and 72 DPI isn't very good, but it's over a bigger area. You've started with the same number of beans, so that picture at 72 DPI would be a bit kind of fuzzy and a bit pixelated. But the only way to increase the resolution, the DPI of that is to start with a bigger jar of beans in the first place, or a bigger camera, or a bigger scan. Because then, now we've added the full 25 megabytes, and we're probably maybe 3 beans deep, so 300 EPI. Well, 300 EPI is okay, isn't it? Now, of course, if I put those back into there, going from 10 by 8 down to 6 by 4, instead of we started with 600, twice as many, it's going to be 1200 DPI, 12 beans deep. So what's important here is not so much how the beans are arranged, but how big the packet is to start with, how big your camera is, or how big the scan is. I do hope that makes sense. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Okay, and the shop smells nicely of beans too. So, beans. Now, one of the questions that we ask people when they're not sure about what size of scan to have is, well, where do you want to finish up? Because if you just want to make 6x4 prints from old family photographs or something, then the 4.5 megabyte, where is it, is going to be a perfect size for that. And it would be great for using on Facebook, and it's not too big. However, if you're talking about doing, say, photographic competitions, or you need really big prints to be made, or even if you're going to just take a section out of those negatives, perhaps one individual that you're going to enlarge up, then you need to start with a bigger file in the beginning. Now, I did promise, and to play us out, we'll see the demonstration of a slide being scanned through this same scanner with a slightly different head on here. It's been a lot of fun today. I hope you enjoyed the coffee bean feature, but in the meantime, thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.